Thank you for tuning into Satco Growth and Momentum PMS Investor Update. I am Jay Tejwani, and with me is Mr. Nitin Raheja, Fund Manager, Satco Growth and Momentum PMS. Nitin, over the last 1 month, we have seen the markets oscillate between 11,300 and 11,650. What's your take on the current market?
So I think we've had a very heady run up in the last six post the fall that we saw in March, and we are now reaching a level where we are just roughly I think about what 5 or 6% away from the all-time highs. Uh, so and this has been driven, as we know, by a very benign liquidity scenario, both globally and domestically. And we've had stocks run up. In certain cases, many stocks are at close to the 52-week highs, so even higher than the levels pre-COVID. It's only very natural when you get to this level where, after the initial euphoria of opening up and businesses starting, that there is some sort of reality check that starts coming in. The results, were a reality check for us, and they were better than worst expectations. They were not as bad as the 23% GDP fall that we've seen. Indian promoters and managements have actually uh, bootstrapped themselves and have come back and given a fairly good account of themselves. But having said all of that, markets are now at levels where uh, we really need to see much more concrete fundamental steps as far as growth is concerned. And given that, I think I would not be surprised where if we start now for some time trading trading at between this sort of range, and they are seeing some sort of resistance to every time they go up, you see them coming back. So we are trying to see markets encounter resistance finally. Um, uh, the macro scenario, as you know, is not good. Um, Post the opening up, the economy is yet struggling. We have border tensions distracting us at the same time. Also, we are running into the US elections, and so it's going to be volatile as we go. Where if we see a Democratic win, you could see markets starting to see a global sell-off happen. Uh, in the short term, which according to me is more short term rather than long term. But all of these factors are sort of headwinds that are gathering to see the market run up further from here.
Right, right. So, Nitin, the hot topic coming out from the weekend was the SEBI circular on multi-cap funds. Can you help us understand what is the essence of this new circular and what is the potential impact that investors may face on their portfolios?
So, very often what was happening is, in the mutual fund industry, the mutual fund industry earns its bread and butter through the assets under management. And what we have seen over the last many years has been there have been funds with different nomenclatures, often with very little differentiation that have come up. Uh, Either A as a marketing ploy or B in when you come up with a new fund, the incentive you incentivize the entire distribution chain well, and you keep on raising your assets rather than growing your existing funds. So as a result, if you really see the Indian mutual fund industry, there are many funds with nomenclatures which sound different, but when you look at the fund, the differentiation elements are very low. So also, I think what SEBI has been trying to do is have been trying to reduce this so-called uh, increase in the funds, which kind of lead to more confusion and so on and so forth. And when we look at a number of multi-cap funds, uh, they were multi-cap, but they really had more of exposures to large caps and so on and so forth. With a reason, because within, if you take the mid cap and the multi in the small cap space, quality is to get a huge number of quality companies is very often difficult. So hence they invested into names which they felt more comfortable with, which they often found in the larger cap names, which are basically a large cap because they've proven themselves. Now, this circular of SEBI has meant that there have been funds who, this is virtually SEBI trying to control strategy at a fund and saying, you must put 25% in large cap, 25% in mid caps. So, if you, while the intention is noble, I think micromanagement is not what is required for a fund to do on the regulator's part. So I think what we will see is that I don't really, so there have been various articles that we have seen come out talking of figures of anywhere between 34 to 35 billion rupees or 34 to 35,000 crores of assets moving from large caps to mid and small caps. I don't see personally that happening for the simple reason that funds will not go and invest in any and every mid and small cap. And you saw that on Monday, it was really the quality mid caps, which incidentally, by the way, if you look at from the beginning of the year to now, the top quality mid caps have actually outperformed large caps by a sizable degree. And they are all trading at very, very handsome valuations. You in fact saw that category of funds move up much more than the regular. So if the idea behind the circular was to broad base holdings and see that it's not a concentrated rally, I don't think that is going to be achieved uh, in over the longer term period, because ultimately funds will only invest in quality businesses, and maybe there will be a short term bump up in valuations for other stocks also. But I really don't see this figure of 35,000 crores happening. Most likely what will happen is funds will either rename themselves, some funds might merge into other funds, and so on and so forth. But surely, if you ask me, will some amount of money move into mid and small caps? Answer is yes. What that quantum is it going to be 5,000 crores? Is it going to be 10,000 crores? Is anybody's guess. Uh, in that sense, if you really look at it, at the PMS level, uh, what we have always done is we have not really got obsessed with caps. We have always believed in a strategy where we will invest in growth companies and companies who have strong balance sheets. Now, whether they are large, mid, or small, it does not really matter for us. So we've never gone and classified ourselves as a large cap PMS or a mid cap PMS. Our focus has been growth coming with quality as such. So for us, really, if you look, none of it changes. If anything, for us, it changes on the upside. For example, in the short term, you might see a few companies in our portfolio actually get bumped up, like we saw even yesterday. Like we have Deepak in our portfolio, we saw that jump up quite a bit. We have APL Apollo Tricot, we saw that jump up quite a bit, and a few other companies. But ultimately, these companies also have to sustain themselves based on growth. Without growth being in place, this can only be a short-term enabling factor. I don't see it being a long-term structural change.
Right, right. So, Nitin, the PMS is up about 15 odd percent from Jan. What do you think has been the key positions that have attributed to this outperformance?
So, through this period, we have not really fundamentally changed the characteristic of our investment philosophy. We have been doing what we were doing earlier. We've looked to invest in companies which are in a growth mode. Yes, albeit growth might be very difficult to come by, but we think this is a temporary phenomena because these companies, if we take a 3 or 4 year view, will continue to grow. We've looked at companies which have strong managements, where promoter pledge has been low, where ROCs of the business have been much better. As a result, we've seen that even in the first quarter, our group of companies actually demonstrated sizable growth numbers vis-a-vis the broader market. That has helped. What has been pretty particularly interesting and unique is that within our portfolios, our mid cap or small cap names have actually done tremendously well. In some cases, they've almost doubled in this period of time. Again, a testimony to the growth strategy that we follow in our PMS. So, I mean, really speaking, when we look at the stocks in our portfolio which have actually contributed to this outperformance, they've been companies such as Granules India, which is a one of the top API companies in India. It's been Vaibhav Global. It's been Apollo Tricord. All of these companies and others that we own have actually done immensely well for us and have delivered. I mean, even the changes that we made, when we actually at a point of time bought MCX and then we got out, or we bought IEX into the portfolio, we bought more of Gujarat Gas. All of them have worked very well for us because we thought we were trying to create an COVID proof portfolio, which has sort of borne well for us during such a time.
Right, Nitin. Thank you. Thank you, investors, for tuning in for this week's investor update. In case you have any further queries, please do get in touch with us. We will get back to you. Thank you.
Thank you.